Hello and welcome. Yes, this is the second update for the autumn and winter forecast 2016-2017 from metgeofica.com. We're taking a look back at the last few months, seeing what weather we had, and we're taking a look ahead, of course, to the rest of the autumn and the winter. And it's looking pretty exciting at this stage. But we'll start with what happened over the summer period. Temperatures over England and Wales and Northern Ireland over the period of July, well, actually, they were a little bit above normal. 0.6 degrees, I think, overall the summer, if I'm correct. These stats actually provided from the Met Office. I think it's for them for supplying this. But as you can see, northern Scotland and parts of Northern Ireland, Northern England, had a little bit cooler summer than normal, whereas most of England and Wales, well, most of England anyway, and especially the eastern counties of England, it was a little bit above the normal in regards to temperature. We get some pretty decent weather actually off and on. We had some really high temperatures. In September we had some record-breaking temperatures, you remember, up to 33, 34 degrees in places, I believe. So yeah, it wasn't too bad of a summer, although it wasn't my forecast didn't quite pan out as it should have for them. But hey, it's just for fun anyway. Come on. Looking at July sunshine values, well, again, eastern areas fare it better with quite a bit of sunshine actually in the far southeast of England, but most other places were around the normal average, apart from the far north of Scotland, which was below average. And this is where most of the rain fell, I think, during July, with quite a bit in the far northwest. About average most other places, a little bit below average in some places, where the white areas are, and considerably below average actually in southern counties. But there was a lot of thunderstorms, and these took place mostly over northern Wales, northern England, and into Scotland. Northern Ireland saw some of them as well, and so did the far south and east of England. Yes, some of them were actually quite vicious. Okay, so what do I base my forecast on? Well, one of the things I use is sunspots, and although this is the latest one I've taken off the web today, and this is actually an increasing number of sunspots, but on the whole, we've had very few. We've getting virtually down to the Maunder minimum, which of course is no sunspots, which caused the Great Ice Age during the 17th and 16th, 17th century, when the River Thames used to freeze over quite regularly at Christmas time and whatnot. So yeah, so we are going into that, I think, that period where things are going to start to cool down. Okay, but looking ahead, really, we got to also look at what's happening in the Pacific Ocean. It's very crucial. This is actually from August, and back then, if you remember, I was telling you that we were getting this sort of area here. Hang on, I want to get rid of this thing. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. So this was beginning to the central part of the Pacific was beginning to cool down. So that, yeah, this central part of the Pacific was beginning to cool down. We had a little bit of cooling going on in the central Atlantic, but nothing really more than normal. And so what's the situation today? Well, the latest one from NOAA showing that we've increased the cooling in the central Pacific, and we've also got a lot more cooling going on in the Atlantic. Now, really, we need to get this cool weather, or this cool, the sea needs to be cool really in this sort of area, I would say. And we need to get some warmth up here and some warmth down here, and that will be a tripole beginning to form. Not much sign really of a tripole. It's trying to get there, not a lot. But this encourages with a tripole high pressure to build towards the north and over Scandinavia, and give us a sort of a NAO situation, negative oscillation. Not a lot of evidence of that going on really, but it is getting that way. Okay, so we're going to look at ice and snow over the North Pole, and this is a good sort of guide really for high pressure to build towards the north and encourage Siberian air to flow down over the British Isles. Now, as you can see, this is 2009, October the 13th, and we had a lot of snow beginning to push down across Scandinavia, but not much really in Siberia. But one thing I want to point out to you is the fact that there was a lot of ice, more ice than there is today. And if I can show it to you, there you go. The same time virtually as last year. See how much less ice there is than there is compared with what there was in 2009. So although there's more snow over Scandinavia and over Siberia, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is somewhat colder. It just means that we've got more low pressure systems coming up across and dumping their snow up this area. We really want to start to see ice beginning to form here before we can really think about a cold winter. So we at MetJeff will be keeping an eye on that one for sure. But basically, what I think the way things are going to pan out is that we will get higher than normal heights beginning to form over Scandinavia and Russia, and I think we will be getting some colder influxes of Siberian air. That's not a very good arrow, is it? Colder easterly winds coming in during the winter periods, but I think the lead up to Christmas, although we will get some spells of some very cold weather, I think we will be mainly Atlantic driven with a lot of storms still, especially over Scotland. But this is the chart I think we'll be seeing probably after Christmas rather than at Christmas time. I think January, February and March looks like being particularly cold and at times stormy in the south and the west. Yeah, so I think basically when we get into sort of January and February, we're going to get high pressure more or less situated here and here. Okay, and I think we're going to get, whichever way you look at it, it's going to be a very cold source of air attacking the British Isles. And with this cold source of air pumping into the British Isles all the time, it's going to push the jet stream way south. And that's going to allow low pressure systems to skirt across Bay of Biscay area. And that's where our fun starts. Well, with the setup which is likely to occur after Christmas with high pressure beginning to build over Scandinavia and over Western Russia, the jet stream looks like being pushed across the Med, something like that, with low pressures tracking along it into the Mediterranean. Now, over the Christmas period, I think high pressure will dominate over Britain, and so I think it will be more of a frosty Christmas rather than a snowy Christmas. But then after Christmas, with the high pressure moving away further towards the east, it will allow colder weather to penetrate from Siberia and more frequent snow showers along the east coast. And this will set us up for quite a bit of the winter, I'm afraid. So with all that going on, I met Jeff's temperature for UK and Ireland for January, February and March 2017 looks something like this, with colder than average temperatures over western Scotland and Ireland, but severe cold at times over the rest of the British Isles, with low pressures coming in, tracking into southwest England, quite prone here to have potential blizzards at times. So what is the snowfall prediction from Metcalfe? I think January, February, March is obviously the most prominent time for getting this cold weather with the setup we're going to have. So Western Scotland is going to be a bit sheltered from all this, so it'll drier than average over the period. Above average snowfall over most of England and Wales, with southwest and southern England could well be seeing blizzards at times. A bit dramatic, I know, but it's looking that way at the moment. Now, obviously, things can change, and we will keep you updated here at metjeffuk.com. And the next scheduled update for number 3, that'll be, won't it? That's going to be around about mid of November. So I look forward to doing that one for you, and we'll see how it's panning out. But until then, thanks for watching, and click on the adverts, please, so we keep going. And of course, whatever your weather, enjoy it.